Hi, so nice to see you. Mm. Hey, Alan. Nice to meet you. Oh, you're muted. Gladys, it is so nice to see you, my dear. Oh, you're muted too.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Just checking in. I was like, well, let me see what this is about.
Yeah, I mean, nothing, not much new from what you've already learned, my dear, but always great to have you.
Oh,
Gladys
yeah.
did my program, the certification, a year ago now.
hmm
It's amazing. Alan, nice to meet you. Where are you listening in from? Oh, you're still muted.
Okay, that's it. I'm in
There
New
we
York
go.
City. I'm in New York City,
Fun. Where in New York are you? Where in the
Manhattan.
city?
Manhattan.
Manhattan? Yeah. Okay. I lived on the Upper East Side for many years while I went to NYU. Great place.
I'm going to be in and out. Is there a recording that we're going to be able to get of this?
There will be. There will be a recording. I just hit record because I often forget. So I hit it as soon as I jumped on.
Good, because I have to leave at 5. I have an appointment at 5, client.
No worries.
Okay.
Lindsay, hi, my dear.
Hey, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. And Tamara. I like meeting new faces. I know Lindsay. I know Gladys. Tamara, hi, nice to meet you. Where are you listening in from?
Don. Hi, nice to meet you too. I'm here in Atlanta. I'm in Sandy Springs, but
You're
I
right around the corner.
yes, I work in Dunwoody at the Jewish Family and Career Services, and
Love
a
it.
friend, Debbie Grunovsky,
Yeah.
she recommended you.
Awesome. Amazing. So glad you're here. I'm actually right around the corner from you right now because I'm at my office, my studio in East Cobb, which is in Paper Mill, which is right over the border of Sandy Springs.
That's correct. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, glad to have you. We'll give it about a few more minutes, guys, to let people pop in, and then we will just get started. It is going to be recorded, so no worries if you need to. There's Debbie. Just if you have to pop off, if you have to watch the rest in your own time, no worries whatsoever. Um, I will tell you if you stay till the end, I have a gift for you. But it's okay. If you can't stay to then, you can always watch it. Not a big deal. Melissa, nice to meet you. Debbie, good to see you. Hi. All right. Melissa, where are you from, my dear?
I'm almost home. I am a clinician at JFNCS in Atlanta.
Oh, you're in Atlanta too. All these local people. I love it. Actually, our training right now has a lot of local people in it. Usually, it is all around the country. When Gladys did it with me, I don't know. Gladys, do we have any local people? Yes, Tammy,
There's Tammy, and then there's another a social worker,
Heidi,
Heidi.
Elizabeth. Yeah, you're right. There were a
That
few
was
of you. There
great.
were a few Atlanta people for
Yeah.
you too. Yeah, I mean, I guess you always attract, to a degree, something about where you live, people near you. Actually, Elizabeth left me the most beautiful message today about this program. And I was
Mhm.
so excited to play it for everyone about like what her clients are getting now from adding these tools to her practice. And I don't know if anyone else ever has had this experience now. Apparently, once you listen to a message, it doesn't let you replay it.
Oh, really? Oh, with the new on the iPhone?
Yeah.
I was missing with the new update. I was missing a lot of
What
calls
the
because
fuck? Pardon my
would
French.
it wouldn't play the messages. So something's going on with it. It's crazy.
There is something with the new update that once you listen once,
It's
you
gone.
can't replay it.
Mhm.
So I will just, I ended up just right before you popped on, I took all of her words, because you can actually copy though the words from text, from audio to text, and I popped it into a slide. So you can see it. But I wanted you guys to hear it. There's something so special about, I think, hearing another person's voice. But oh well, we do what we can. All right. Well, welcome, Ivy, Laura. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Cyprian. If you don't mind, drop in the chat, those who are just joining us, where you're from, and we're gonna get started. I'm gonna try to do my best to not go over an hour, but anyone who knows me, I'm not very good at that. So who am I? Why should you even pay any attention? I'll give you a little brief intro and then I'll start to share my screen. I did make this into a little slideshow just so I could keep myself on track. Otherwise, my ADD brain would be like boing, boing, boing all over the place. So I'm Rachel Friedman. I live here. I live in Atlanta, right outside of Atlanta in Marietta, Georgia. I have been an entrepreneur now for 25 years. I've been practicing as a clinician, as a therapist, as a counselor, as a somatic practitioner only the last decade, but I've been in practice for almost 30 years. I realized when I was thinking about it the other day, I graduated in 1999 and I went right into working in a residential facility, a lockdown facility with 12 to 18-year-old girls. Whew, it was a road. Ironically, a lot of that work has helped me a lot in the last couple of months. I've had to navigate it with my own stepdaughter. And so I'm very, very grateful for the knowledge I had. I have a very interesting perspective as I now work with some clients one-on-one who have kids, young adults, adolescents going through the mental health scope in terms of more of a residential PHP process. I have a whole nother perspective now having been on both sides, which I'm going to say as a parent, having been on that side, I feel if any of you have, or you have any clients, oh my, it's a road. We'll just leave, it's a journey. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're going to talk about somatics today. So I dove into the yoga world, about 20 years ago. And then, like I said, a little over a decade ago, about 10, 12 years ago, I started getting into somatics when it was just kind of peeping its face. And over the years, I've integrated it into lots of different ways that I work. I do it in my one-on-one work with clients. I also am right now in my yoga studio. So I also have a brick and mortar yoga studio here in Atlanta where we integrate somatic work into our classes, into our yoga classes, into our strength-based classes, and then into stretching classes. So I have found lots of incredible ways to integrate this work, and I love it all. I think it's all amazing. I don't think it's a one size fits all. I think it's really important that as clinicians, I'm guessing most of you on this call are, that we are treating people as humans, not as theories, not as philosophies, not as things we've read in textbooks, but really getting to understand them in their experience and however they show up for us, that we know and have tools to help them. And I have personally found somatic work to be one of the most effective. I have worked with people, one woman specifically, I worked with her for about 10 years. And then I started integrating the somatic work and we started making incredible changes within like 3 to 5 sessions. It's incredible because the body, you know, we hear it all the time, the body keeps the score, the body holds on. It is especially true with trauma, guys. Trauma happens in the body. It happens below, I always say below the chin, right? And we're going to go into that in a moment. So the conscious mind, it can't even tap into it. Sometimes we can have sparkles, I like to say, of memories, like parts that have broken off, right? But then these memories don't even make complete sense to us or to our clients. But when we can access the body, we get to whole new layers, whole new levels. All right. So that's me. Like I said, I really do love this work. I'm a big believer that we go first. So everything I teach, everything I do with my clients, I do on myself first. I practice myself first. Now, of course, my experience isn't their experience, and that's not what it's about. But I want to know how it feels in my own body. I want to know how it affects me. And I think it's really important that we do that. Now, again, it doesn't mean that we're going to have the same experience at all, and nor should we ever think that. But I do think it's important to know how you respond and react to things before you necessarily share specific tools or techniques with your clients. So I'm a living, breathing example of everything that I practice and preach. And I hope you guys, whether today you take the few little things I'm going to share with you and you begin to integrate with your clients, I hope you'll share some of it with your clients, but I hope most importantly, first, you'll use it on yourself, because these tools are so powerful. And we as humans co-regulate, meaning my nervous system is right now talking to every single one of your nervous systems, even through the screen. And if I was dysregulated, you'd come on this call and it would feel icky, right? And I'll be honest, I got in this awful argument with my husband like an hour ago. It really sucked. So I left. I wasn't planning on doing this here. I was planning on doing it at my house. I'm very honest and real too. As Gladys knows, she was in my training. And I got here and I was like, I'm just going to do a little bilateral stimulation. I'm going to do a little shaking. I'm going to do my own stuff so I can show up for them. Maybe I'm not fully regulated, but I'm way better than I was an hour ago. And I think, again, some of these tools might be, whether you ever share them with your clients, I hope they at least help you. Okay. So if you take anything from this, I hope that this is at least helpful for you. All right. So let's dive into my little presentation here. Where did the share button?
I wanted to tell you, Rachel, I'm gonna leave right at 5. I wanted to tell you, I'll leave at 5, but I don't know if you can see this. I don't think you can. I've got the cover for my book. So it's called Trauma Unbound.
Amazing.
Unleash the power of somatic healing. But I wanted to come back and go through stuff because I think I was going through the class for clients before. And so I'm probably going to do it again for me now that I'm less stressed. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Here it is. You still can't see it. Wait, let's see.
I can't see. I can kind of see it. There's like a little bit of a shadow.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's too shadowy, but yeah.
That's okay. That's amazing. So Gladys, actually, I just found the share button, but before, since I know you're going to pop off early, if you could share one sentence about your experience with this work, what would you say? Just so, I mean, I don't have everyone's faces on the screen, but maybe you raise your hand with I think there's like a button at the bottom. You can tap, raise your hand. But if you're new to this work, but Gladys was in my program a year ago, but she's been doing this work for a while. She sees clients lots of different ways, but like, what's one thing you could share, having done it, been down the road, using this on a daily basis?
Oh, wow. Well, I'll say using somatics is invigorating. So I work with a lot of tough trauma clients. And so those clients, when you do somatic work, it's totally different from the other work. I do EMDR, I do brain spotting, I do all those others. But when you add somatics to it, you're not doing the work. We burn out a lot, and the statistics is showing us, but somatics allows you, I would say the one sentence that I was supposed to say is that somatics allows the clinician freedom, because we actually are following the client.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Actually, I love that you mentioned burnout, because I'm not talking about that at all tonight, but I would agree with you. I think actually it makes our job a little bit easier.
It does.
Which is really good news, because I'm sure we've all experienced moments where we're like, oh my, it can get heavy, and it, like Gladys said, not only does it help for burnout, but you have tools to help yourself not get dysregulated, which is, I think, ultimately what helps with not getting too burnt out too. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I would 100% agree. And congrats on your book. That is like amazing. Also, I think Gladys saw, this is in the process when she was in my program, but shame-free, have everyone flicking everyone off. My mom couldn't believe I put that on the cover of my book. I'm like, don't you know me? But it wasn't like flicking people off. I'm flicking off shame, FYI. Anyway, all right, let's dive in. Tell me, guys, if you, okay, where is it? Okay, hold on. Oh, can see. There we go. Oh, we're not at the top. Let's go to the top. Let's hit, I think it's under, Anybody know? Slide maybe? I don't usually use this. I usually use a different one. View, slideshow. All right, that makes sense. All right, can you guys see my screen? Amazing. Okay, so we're going to resolve what talk therapy can't in one session. Let me rephrase this. It's not that it can't, it's just going to be a lot easier, right? And it's going to bypass that cognitive brain. So often your clients are going to come to you. They've got a story about it. They think they know, but they haven't actually allowed their body to really fully know, I like to say, what's actually the full story. So here's some uncomfortable truth. Many clients believe they are stuck due to a lack of understanding. Anyone else heard this from their clients? I know I have. Okay. It's not actually, I find a lot of the time, lack of understanding. The barrier is that the body's holding on to it. And so they have this cognitive understanding, but they still feel stuck. Okay, so anyone else have this experience with their clients where their clients say, I understand why I feel the way I feel and I can't move on, or I can't get over it, or I can't forgive, or blah, 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 right? I'm one of them too. Okay, I'm just going to raise my hand. I've been that person, right? Maybe you have too. Okay. And so what happens is when we start to access the body, is we're not working so much with cognition or not on a cognitive level. We're getting into what's been locked down inside the body and we're going to bring it up. And then we can integrate it and we can process it, right? It's not that we're not still using talk therapy. I had a friend the other day. She's actually a social worker too. And actually, I think she's going to be watching the replay. But she said, so you're not talking at all during the sessions? I'm like, oh no, there's plenty of talking still happening. It's just not, the whole thing isn't talking. Okay. And like Gladys just said, right? That makes it a little easier too. All right. So where I think talk therapy often fails is there's limitations, right? Brain function. So the prefrontal cortex, which is essential for decision making, but it cannot override the brainstem during a trauma response. So this limits talk therapy's effectiveness with deep-seated trauma. Okay, the trauma response, my friends. What happened? Did it go away? There we go. Okay. The trauma response. The trauma is primarily stored in the brainstem and the limbic system, where emotions and survival instincts dominate. Talk therapy alone cannot access these areas. It creates a barrier to healing. So we got to get into the body. So I'm not going to go deep into polyvagal with you guys right now, but I don't know what happened to all of your pictures. I can't see you guys. Interesting. All right. Can you guys still see my screen?
We see you. I see you.
You do see me. That's weird. So when I click off of it, I can't see you guys though. All right. Well, oh well. Polyvagal bridge. So Stephen Porges, about 20 years ago, an amazing doctor said, hey, I don't believe we just have two parts of the nervous system, right? Sympathetic, parasympathetic. It's actually way more complex, way more sophisticated. And to break it down in a really simple way, there's three parts, right? We've got our ventral vagal. This is where we're safe and connected. This is where we want to do that cognitive work. This is where that cognitive work will land, it will feel good, and it will integrate. But here's the problem. Most of our clients don't show up to us in a ventral vagal state. Most of our clients are showing up to us in sympathetic. That is flight or fight, right? They're coming in and they're in that their system is activated, right? They've been triggered. Things are in their body feeling as if they're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, even though maybe it was just an email or something their spouse just said or something that happened with their kids. And what happens is if we spend way too much time in that sympathetic state, then we drop into dorsal vagal, shut down and freeze. Now, it's not that any one of these states, right, bad or good. We're moving throughout them throughout the day, but just simply understanding this, if you haven't seen this before, is really, I believe, important as a clinician. Because before we can go into the body, we need to know what state they're in. We need to be able to look at them and assess it. And then we need to be able to use whatever tools and techniques we have to hopefully help move them more into that ventral vagal state. At any point, since I can't see your faces for some reason, I don't know where you all went, let me know. Just unmute yourself, okay? So we can have literally instant shifts by us, just our nervous systems noticing, being able to be in tune with ourselves and picking up, oh, wow, that person walked in and I'm feeling a little off, right? I'm feeling a little anxious because remember, our nervous systems are constantly talking to each other. They're co-regulating. So if our nervous systems are constantly talking to each other, then my nervous system can right away, if I'm in tune, pick up what's happening with my client. Oh, wow. Okay. That person's in shutdown. Okay. Now I know I need to get them into sympathetic in order to move them into ventral vagal. So these instant shifts are going to happen when we engage with certain somatic techniques. So I'm going to talk about just, I think, one or two of them today. I'm not going to bombard you with a bunch. That's what I do inside the certification. Okay. I bombard you. I load you up. So you have so many, because the truth is that we are client centered here and no two people are the same. So what might work beautifully with one client may fall flat with another. And we have to kind of be like scientists, right? We have to be a little playful and we have to be curious. So body awareness, when we're encouraging our clients, right, to begin to connect with their bodies, it fosters this new sense of awareness of sensations and feelings. This practice alone enables them to recognize when they are safe. This is going to begin to shift into the healing state, okay? We need to be in a state of softness, right? Groundedness and calmness in order for that to fully happen. Okay, so let's talk about the somatic reset. This is where embodied healing really begins. And we stop talking so much and we start feeling. So I want to take you through just a little exercise, and I'm going to stop the share for a moment because I like to see people's faces while I'm teaching at them. That feels weird. Okay, so we're going to start with just a little bit of bilateral stimulation, okay? Because maybe some of you had, like me, maybe you had some clients that dysregulated you today. Maybe you have a partner, a husband, a spouse who said something kind of shitty that dysregulated you. Or maybe your kids got home from school and one was hormonal and a bad mood. I don't know. Or a toddler having a tantrum. I mean, it could have just been driving down the street, right? And somebody cut you off. It happens all the time, all day long. So let's get ourselves a little more regulated before we go on. So I'm going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to do two techniques that are bilateral. So bilateral meaning anyone not familiar with that word, and do not be embarrassed. This is a shame-free zone. Anyone who knows me, everything goes. Thank you, Debbie, for being honest. I love when I have at least one person, like Tammy in Gladys' class was the one who was always like, I don't know. And it was amazing. And we got so much more out of it, right, Gladys? Because she was so willing to be vulnerable and open and say all the things that maybe everyone else didn't want to admit or weren't sure about. So bilateral stimulation is opposite arm, opposite leg, to simplify. Now, what's happening? Okay, now I'm really simplifying it right now for you because I don't want to spend this entire class talking about it. But what happens is when we tend to be in a sympathetic state, in a state of stress, we get locked up in either the right hemisphere of our brain or the left hemisphere of our brain. And we can't make good decisions when we are locked up for the most part, right? It is anxiety tends to be you're in one side of the brain, the other side of the brain, okay? Now, what happens is when we do cross-lateral, bilateral or cross-lateral movements, I just combined them, but they're slightly different, but similar, that the brain now is no longer hijacked. It's not just in one side of the brain because now the right and the left side are talking to each other. And when the right and the left side talk to each other, the nervous system starts to say, I'm okay. I'm safe. Okay. It doesn't happen right like that, but within a few minutes, it can actually shift, right? It might not be 5 seconds, but usually I find within 3 to 5 minutes, I can almost get anyone out of that. I can down regulate them. And then sometimes I have to use other tools too. All right. So we're going to do a breath technique. Okay. One of my favorite bilateral stimulation tools. I wake up every morning and do this, FYI, guys, as soon as I get out of bed, because I don't know if you know this, but your cortisol, anybody know when their cortisol is at their highest? I don't like to just talk at people, so I'm going to get you guys involved here. When is your cortisol the highest? Give me your best guess.
In the morning?
Yes. When you first wake up. Who said that? They're on fire. All right. So in the morning, when you first wake up is when cortisol is the highest. And when cortisol is the highest, what does that mean for us? Anybody know? Most people think that would mean first thing in the morning, you're most relaxed because you just slept. It's actually our highest amount of sympathetic. Cortisol gets us moving. It's like, why do we need it? To get out of bed and get our day started. It actually makes sense, right? Think about it. If we didn't have that boost of cortisol, how many of you would choose to stay in bed instead of get out and go to work and see your clients or do whatever you have to do? I know I would. 99% of the time, right? Just stay in my comfy bed with my dog snuggling me up. Absolutely. Okay. So we get this rush of cortisol right before we wake up to get our asses out of bed, people. Okay. Now, here's the thing though, that high load of cortisol, if you don't get activated and start to move, it can actually overstimulate you throughout the rest of the day. And then you'll crash. Who crashes around 2, 3 o'clock every day? Right? And then that's when the coffee comes in or the pretzels and the food, because that's what helps us get through the rest of the day. All right. We don't want any of that, right? Ideally. So get up and do some bilateral stimulation and you're helping to down regulate your system. Same as your clients. The other thing is get up. I'm not going to talk about it in this class. I tell all my clients, we wake up, we have a little routine, therapeutic shaking. Then we do bilateral stimulation. Then we sit in silence. Clean the brain. Okay. Get your nervous system I call it nervous system hygiene. Okay. How many of you get up and brush your teeth in the morning? Thank you, Gladys. I'm assuming everyone. Okay. Right. Come on, people. I hope we're all getting up and brushing our teeth. I'm not going to lie. I had a client and eventually after like 6 months, she's like, you know what, Rachel, I'm just struggling even brushing my teeth. And I was like, all right, we need to go way back, girl. Wish you had told me that sooner, but that's, sometimes that's happening, right? Okay, but for the most part, we get up, we probably brush our teeth, wash our face. Some people shower. Hygiene, right? Basic hygiene. But how many of you wake up and do any hygiene for your nervous systems? Besides Gladys. Maybe Lindsay. She's at my studio with me. Okay, most of us do not. I know I didn't for the longest time, but I can guarantee if you do, you will feel your energy will last throughout the day a lot better. You'll be a little less snappy by the end of the day, and you probably will even sleep better when you go to bed at night. Okay, so that's for you. That's my gift to you guys. Now imagine first breakfast, then brushing teeth. Okay, but we got the idea. We got hygiene, right? All right. So, and you can have your breakfast first before you do your nervous system hygiene if you want. Doesn't matter. It just needs to happen, right? Just like we need to brush our teeth, hopefully, before we walk out the door and we're in front of other people. Okay. I say your nervous system hygiene needs to happen before you walk out the door and be in front of other people. Okay. That's it. Now, imagine if all your clients did that. I mean, imagine if everybody in this world did that. Okay. We won't go there today, but you can see where I'm going. It would be amazing, right? Because we'd all be a little more regulated. We'd all be a little less reactive and a little more responsive. That's the goal in life, right? That's what we're helping our clients with too. So let's get back to our bilateral stimulation. Here is my favorite tool, okay? I got lots of them, but this is my favorite one. It's called alternating nostril breathing, and it works effectively and it works quick. All right, so what you're going to do, take your thumb, we're going to do it together. Remember, we go first. You're going to take your thumb, close your right nostril. If you want to close your eyes, go for it. My eyes naturally tend usually close. Okay, you're going to inhale up the left side. You're going to take your ring finger or your pinky finger and you're going to close the left side. Now, both sides are closed. That's why it sounds a little weird. Now, we're going to exhale down the right side. The lips stay closed. If you're congested, it's a little more challenging. You're going to inhale up the right side. Close the right side. You're going to open the left and then exhale down the left side. We're going to keep going. We're going to inhale up the left. We're going to close the left. We're going to open the right and exhale. Now keep going, and I'm going to keep talking to you. Keep going and notice what you feel as you do this. Maybe let your eyes soften. Notice if one side is a little harder to breathe out of than the other. Usually that means we're more dominant on that side of the brain, right or left, right? Right's a little bit more masculine, left's a little bit more feminine, right's a little more action-oriented, left is a little bit more creative. Notice if that resonates or how from your day. And keep going. Just keep paying attention to how this makes you feel. Notice if your mind's getting busy, and if it is, that's okay. You just come back. Come back to following the breath up and down. Now, we can add, we're not going to today, but we can add on to this. We can make our exhalations longer. We can make our inhalations longer depending on our client's needs or our needs, okay? So I want you to finish out the right side. When you're done out the right side, just rest your hands down for a moment. Maybe let your eyes soften or close. And just take a few moments to just observe and notice how you feel. And then if anybody's open to sharing, I would love to hear. If anyone wants to say, I feel different, I don't feel anything, I would love to hear.
Hey, Rachel, Lindsay. So
Hey,
I
Lindsay.
love doing it because as you're doing it, you can definitely tell if one side is, harder than the other, which allows you to kind of focus in on maybe where you need to work on it and having kind of like that focal. For me, it kind of calms me down. It brings me to that place to where the distractions outside my head is kind of more inward now. And the heart at the same time. So you just kind of get into that Zen state.
I love that. Thanks for sharing, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Love it. All right. So most of my clients report that it, like Lindsay said, it gets them out of their thinking mind for at least a moment, right? And sometimes we just need that moment, that space to pause, right? Before we respond. Like Lindsay said too, some of my clients have told me, and I'm talking about not just my one-on-one clients, but clients who have come through this program too with me, but have also told me that it allows them between sessions to have a clear mind going into the next session. Because what happens when we're working with humans, inevitably, like we said, our nervous systems are talking to each other. Just like we can't see Wi-Fi, we can't see this, but it is happening. They've got medical science to prove it. That when we might be triggered by our clients, I know I'm not the only one. Anyone else ever triggered by their client? Yeah, everyone's head is nodding. This allows us to hopefully downregulate for a moment, come out of sympathetic, get closer back to ventral vagal before we go to the next person. And that's a lot of these somatic tools. They're going to be amazing for your clients, but I can't tell you how amazing they are also for you. All right, so that is one example of bilateral stimulation. I want to always make sure when people come to classes with me, I'm not like just talking at them and they don't walk away with something. Okay, that's very important to me. So again, whether you share this with your clients or you just use it for yourself, I hope you will at least use it for yourself. Okay. All right, let's go back to that presentation for a moment and see where it takes us next. All right. Okay. Oh, I see your faces again. Yay. I don't know what I clicked, but I like when things work. So we've got grounding practices that help our clients get into their bodies, also help teach us and help us help them better. We're going to do one shortly. And we've got awareness, right? Helping them even just identify their different states can be very powerful. Teaching them a little bit of polyvagal theory can go a very long way. Okay. And not just teaching polyvagal from a conscious perspective, but like actually we go in the program, we go through how do you teach an embodied polyvagal theory? So how do you teach people how to understand the states and understand the states for their body, for themselves? And that's really important. Okay, moving on. Oh, we just did bilateral stimulation. So we're going to skip over this one, okay? Name the shift. Okay, so here's a simple technique that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, I'm trying to share the most simple techniques. We go into some techniques take a lot more education, a lot more experiencing, a lot more practice. I wanted to give you guys some things that you could even walk away today and use. So naming the shift, how do we do this? It encourages our clients to simply observe the physical sensations, emotions without judgment or analysis during the session. It's witnessing without fixing. So I'm going to ask you guys right now, just let your eyes close for a moment and notice a sensation in your body. Just let your eyes close and notice a sensation in your body. And then I want you to name it, but not from judging it. Like, oh, I feel this tightness. What should I do about it? Give it a name. Maybe you give it the name hot, cold, strong, pressure, open. Just giving you ideas. Give it a name. Now, let your eyes open. And one brave soul, tell us the name you gave that sensation. Anyone, just unmute.
Sturdy.
Sturdy. And when you say it out loud, Lindsay, what happens?
You feel stronger. It reminds you.
Ah, I love that. Anyone else? What else came up for people? Come on, guys.
I said heavy.
Heavy. Okay. And when you say the word heavy out loud, Melissa, what happens?
Well, after hearing sturdy, heavy felt like a burden.
Ah, it felt like a burden. Okay.
Well, it felt like a burden even before, but I guess more so than when.
Yeah. Heavy felt like a burden. I'm going to ask, would you be willing to be my volunteer for something?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So let's stay with it. I'm jumping around because anyone who knows me following slides, this is like such a challenge. Okay. So if we were to stay with that heavy for a moment, okay, can you, if you are okay with it, and of course, I want you guys to notice, I'm always going to ask my clients first for permission. Okay. And I want to give them agency. So I'm going to often give them choices because I want anyone who's experienced trauma, it's extremely important that we're giving them their power back, right? So agency is extremely important. Whether I'm teaching a course that is mostly for therapists and counselors and coaches, or I'm teaching personal trainers because I teach a course for them. I'm teaching them that there is extreme importance in giving people agency. Okay, that is what makes it trauma informed. Extremely important. So Melissa, I'm using this as like a side-by-side teaching and taking her through it. Okay, guys. So a little different than I would actually do it if I was working with someone one-on-one. But Melissa, is it okay if we go back into that heavy for a moment?
Yes.
Okay. And if it's okay with you, I'm gonna suggest, and of course, if it doesn't feel okay, leave your eyes open, but I'm gonna suggest most people find it a little bit easier to connect to the body with eyes closed. So if that feels okay for you, then let the eyes soften, maybe close. And you guys will notice that I use the word soften even when I'm teaching yoga, even when I'm teaching trainers. I very rarely use the word relax. And the reason I don't use the word relax is that is the word most trauma victims have experienced when they were being traumatized. Often, if it's a sexual trauma, a physical trauma, their abuser might have been saying, just relax, right? And it's important that we're mindful of the words we use, okay? So I'm just gonna have right now, Melissa, for a second, just soften for a moment, okay? And as you soften for a moment, Melissa, tell us a little bit. Uh-oh, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Okay, my screen's jumping around. Melissa, can you locate the heavy in your body?
I think it's like in my legs and maybe up in my shoulders.
Okay, in your legs and maybe in her shoulders. Okay, and again, this isn't getting it right or wrong. I like to remind my clients because the body knows best, right? And so we'll just say it's in both places, right? As we go, if she's like, it's not there anymore, it's not there anymore. We don't try to make meaning out of what's not meaning, okay? And which one feels heavier in this moment?
My legs.
Your legs. Okay, so let's stay with her legs, right? And she was even a little uncertain about her shoulders. The legs seemed a little bit more definitive. Okay. And so when you say that your legs feel heavy, okay, can you describe that to us?
Um,
Okay, pause for a moment. Did you guys notice her eyes just opened? These are the things that we're noticing and paying attention to in our session. When we go through the training, I teach you how to notice the micro shifts. Okay. We're going to notice where eyes go, but we also notice if eyes open, that means she's probably out of her body now and in her conscious mind. So now she's thinking about it, not feeling it anymore, I'm guessing. Accurate?
Probably, yeah.
Now, if I'm working with one-on-one, FYI, guys, I'm not doing that with the client, right? I'm not like, oh, you just opened your eyes. You're in your head now. No, no, no. I'm going to say something like, oh, if it's okay, why don't you just let your eyes soften again and let's go back into the body and see what you're feeling. And so she did that.
Just like loaded, I guess.
Loaded.
Like,
Okay.
and I'm also sitting like
Yeah.
crisscross applesauce kind of.
Okay. Okay. Um, take that feeling that you are feeling in your legs, that heavy loaded feeling. We want to use our clients' words. So I am often, when I'm doing a session, also writing notes down. And I want you to put that in your hands for a moment. What would demo for us? What would that sensation? How would you demonstrate it with your hands? Again, try not to think about it too. Yeah, perfect. So whatever comes up. So she's got, it looks like fists. Is that right?
Mhm.
Fists. And I'm going to take that screen off for a moment so I can see her better. And actually, I'm going to see if I can spotlight. Ah, thank you. So much better. Okay, Melissa. So thank you so much too. I really appreciate, and I think the whole group really appreciates you letting us be a part of this journey with you. So I just want to acknowledge that. So she's got her hands and fists. Okay. And she brought them up kind of close to her face, right? Um, tell us about those fists for a moment.
Um, they're feeling really like it would be hard to open them,
Hard to
actually.
open. Okay, so would it fair to say they're kind of gripping or they're tight? Okay. Now I want you to stay with that. And we're going to stay with it for about 2 minutes. And I'm not going to actually talk much. Okay. I want you to stay with it. And if you want to share, you can, but you don't have to. Okay. Whatever feels right for you. But I want you to spend about the next 2 minutes just amplifying that feeling. Okay. So when I say amplify, that might mean that they need to get tighter. I don't know. But you just let it go wherever it needs to go. Just keep staying with it. See if it's possible to even amplify it a little bit more.
It feels, and maybe, I don't know, I'm in my head. Um, it feels like this has taken over and my
Mm.
body's becoming lighter.
And your body's becoming lighter. That's interesting. Okay, tell us a little bit about what that feels like for you as your body's getting lighter.
But
What
I don't
if
know how to release this.
you don't know how to release this?
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. So this is holding, but then when you say your body is feeling lighter, is there specific areas or just like more all
just
over?
like the heaviness is all like I've taken it all here.
Ah, so you're containing it here.
Yeah.
You're
And I didn't
containing it
see
here.
that coming.
Yeah, and this work, that's what happens. We rarely see what's coming, FYI, guys. So stay with it. We got about 20 more seconds and just stay with it for me for just about 20 more seconds. Feel into it, okay? And just notice. Notice and observe. Okay. Now I want you to just continue to stay with it. Okay. Just continue to amplify it. And then what would it look like to dance with it? If that sensation that's in your hands, if it could move freely, what would it do? How would it move?
I, I think it would like, oops. Um, like I need to release,
Release like
like
this.
somehow, yeah.
Okay. I want you to I want you to actually stand up and let your body move. What does it need to do? I want you to stand up if you can, and then amplify it with your hands, make it bigger, make the movements freer. Yeah. And when I'm in a group setting, I will ask, I don't know if Gladys is still on, I think she dropped off, but I want everyone to join her because remember, our nervous systems co-regulate. And actually, healing doesn't happen alone. And that's why actually group work, I think sometimes is the most powerful. If you look at our ancestors, if you look at humans all around the world, how did they heal? They did not heal in individual therapy, guys. They healed in groups. They healed in ceremony. Okay, so if her arms are kind of swinging out, do you guys see that? Yeah, okay. And just notice how that feels, okay? Now, if something feels strange, we do more of it in this work. We really get into it, okay? We get free, and I'm gonna get up too. I don't know if you guys will be able to see me. I won't, because you won't be able to see me. But I'll just, okay, so she's here. And then just keep amplifying that sensation. So, okay. So the next step is I want you to say out loud, this is my dance. This is how I would move if I were free. Because what we just did is shape shifting. We shape shift Melissa's heaviness in her body into this dance, into this. Do you guys see it? It's like open heart, right? She's got her hands in and out. Yeah, it's beautiful. What's coming to mind as you do it, Melissa?
I think a release
A
for sure.
release. Okay. A release. Okay. And how is this different? You can take a seat if you want, sweetie, and you guys can come back. How is this maybe different um, than maybe how you have been responding or reacting?
I think coming off of the workday, we hold, all of us as clinicians, hold
Mhm.
our clients' stuff and the intentional work we need to do to um, release it and set it free. And I usually it's like in my hips that I'll feel really heavy and tight. Today it's my lower legs, but
Yeah,
I think having that awareness and really I felt so caught by the um when you asked me like what it looked like and how it just took over that tight
yeah,
fists
yeah,
and
yeah.
then being intentional about the I love that dance and um allowing that release.
So I love that. What I find what often happens, and I would say 100%, right? Like you spend all day holding space for people. And that can be heavy. Let's be real. That can be heavy. And then that heaviness, if we don't give it a voice, we don't let it be seen and validated and witnessed, what happens? It gets stuffed down and down and down. And then we wonder, our clients, this is the same thing. What's happening with us, same thing with them, is why we have pain in our hips, right? Or we wonder why we have headaches. Or we wonder why now all of a sudden our digestion is messed up. Or why we're waking up in the middle of the night, right? And it's because it wasn't witnessed. And the witnessing is the healing, guys. The witnessing is also where the medicine lives. When we let that feeling in our bodies are just communicating. They just talk to us in a different way. They talk through sensation, not words. So when we can learn to understand their language, and we can help our clients understand their language, we can allow them to shape shift into these sensations. We can let their trauma shape shift. It's not always about releasing. Sometimes it is. Sometimes we need more of it. Like right now, her tightness, if we had said, you just need to release that tightness, Melissa, you just need to release that heaviness, her conscious brain might have been like, yeah, but how? Well, we know she needs to release it because her body danced with it. But what she really needs is more of this expansion, more space to create more as her arms opened and shut, right? To dance and to maybe find ways at the end of the day. Maybe it's actually, this is like almost like a dance, right? As her arms are opening and shutting, to move the energy that she had to hold that was heavy. So it doesn't become dis-ease. Does that make sense, guys? So often I find that the wisdom, the medicine our clients need is just, it's underneath the surface. It's in their bodies. And when we get to know it, I had a client actually earlier today, and it was a knife that kept coming up when we got into the body. It was a sharp knife. And at first I was like, oh, what are we gonna do with a sharp knife? And then I realized that sharp knife, she's got a history of a lot of trauma, a lot of abuse, both sexual and physical. She's a mom now. And she's letting everyone walk all over her. She's become a people pleaser, which is very, very common in trauma survivors, right? So people who have undergone that. And so it's not that they're abusing her necessarily, but the knife in her body, the stabbing feeling she was having, is she needs to cut. She needs to put the knife is her tool to start putting a stab where she needs to put a barrier, right? A knife you're cutting off. We realize she needs to start cutting off these 2-hour conversations with her dad when her kids, are asking her to go above and beyond, right? It's not saying she's not going to still help her dad, right? She's not saying she's still not going to talk to her dad, but 2 hours on the phone was too much. And it's not at all how our conversation started, but the knife that she was feeling in her body, the pain she was feeling in her body, gave us direct insight into her next steps. And I find it happens all the time. Okay, I had so many more tools, so many more things I wanted to share with you guys. So hold on one second. Let me see what else I have in here. So I skipped a huge chunk, but that's okay. Always doing more classes. Okay, so our shadow, when we do this work, we tap into the body, becomes our strength. Our symptoms become our wisdom, and our shame becomes our healing. It becomes our medicine. This is this work that we do. We tap into what the body is saying, and the body guides our sessions. That is the difference. A huge, drastic difference between a more traditional approach. When we do this, when we have specific tools, these are the things that these are the things that teachers, therapists, coaches, there's Tammy, she went through the program, that have told me have happened. Their confidence goes from here to here. And I'll tell you the number one reason why is because we practice together these tools every Friday. I spend one night a week lecturing to you, teaching you the tools, like for example, the alternate nostril breathing, how to teach it, how to do it on yourself, right? Or the somatic journey that I kind of jumped around in today. We actually go through all the steps. But then every Friday we practice with each other. So, Lindsay practices with Debbie, and then Debbie, say, practices with Tamara. And then we give the person feedback of, okay, I saw a doorway here that you missed, or that was amazing. Oh, you could go here. Oh, this is where bilateral stimulation would be really great, because sometimes when we're working with our clients, we all know that we can actually escalate people accidentally, right? We don't always mean to, or they can escalate themselves. Oh, that would have been a great time to add in, this somatic technique or that somatic technique. You know, Therapeutic shaking. I didn't talk about it in this class because I have a whole class on it, but a fantastic technique that we can use in the moment with our clients if they're experiencing something in that moment, a trigger or something. I use it a lot with PTSD. Okay. So this was the message that I just popped into the slide that Elizabeth had left me that I was hoping to play with you, but I'll let you guys read it. But she is a local therapist here in East Cobb, in Georgia, and she's been integrating this for about the last year. She was in Gladys' group, and her clients have been getting some really incredible work. And she tells me all the time that it's been a game changer. So highly, highly suggest to start integrating the body and the body's way of communicating into your work. It will make your job so much easier. And your clients will get incredible results. So what do we do? If you're interested in learning more about the practitioner certification that starts March 17th, we have a comprehensive framework. We're going to learn a lot of different somatic techniques. We go into the shadow. We do a lot of shadow work and inner healing practices. We do a lot of inner criticism work, because let's be real, what happens if someone, even someone who hasn't experienced, let's say a big T, but we all experience trauma, right? Let's just be real. Everyone in this planet, no one gets off this planet without it. And when we can help them learn to integrate their inner critic, instead of using their inner critic against them, their inner critic can actually become, I like to say, a part of one of their superpowers. So we can often learn from the inner critic, and we can take that knowledge from the body, from the insight, and we can actually transform it. It's just energy that we're changing. And it's pretty magical to watch someone take their inner critic and instead of using it against themselves, now be able to use it to empower themselves. Amazing. And then of course, we talk about how to integrate all this work into the work you're already doing. I don't believe that this is all you should do. Let me be very clear about that. I don't believe in any session do I only use, for example, a somatic journey. I'm usually integrating other practices. Like I use brain spotting. I use some EMDR, but they all go very well together. But we talk about how are you going to make it your own and how are you going to integrate these practices together. I think that's really important. And one of the favorite parts that people tell me is just the practice, the being able to practice tools live with real people. Pardon my French, but fuck it all up many times before you go use it on your client. Because I don't know about you guys, but before I got into a group where I was able to practice things, I would learn a technique. I would listen to a training, but I didn't get any practice. So I never actually went and did it because I was terrified that I was going to do it wrong. And so I love giving a space for people to practice before they go test it out on their clients, test it out on each other, test it out on me, right? And that way you get to go into your client session with confidence. And that there's nothing as important as that. Would you all not agree? If you feel insecure about something, it doesn't land for your clients. And it just, you fumble through it. And it's just not a good feeling for you or for them. It transforms your practice. it's going to transform stuck clients very quickly. I find the somatic techniques works very well with stuck clients. Most stuck clients, I find there's usually hidden trauma. It's not even on the conscious level, because when we experience something traumatic, it breaks apart and the body stores the sensation in the story, becomes a jumbled up mess. I have a lot of structured techniques. I have a methodology. If you choose to follow it, you can. You don't have to, but you'll always have the tools to integrate into your practice. And then confidence, right? The compass, the practice. So here are the details. The March cohort starts in 2 weeks. We meet Tuesday nights at 6:30 Eastern. Hopefully that's after, if you are Eastern time, early dinner. And then we go. Some people show up on the call eating. I don't care. You make it work for you. Every call like this is recorded. So if you miss something, you get the replay. It's all in a portal. Not only do you get the replay, but we have a whole portal full of tons of techniques, tons of videos to learn from. So you're going to learn different things for the most part live than that are in the portal. Okay. So some people dive in, ingest all of it. Some people just come live. It's up to you what you decide you want to take, what you don't. This is a shame-free container. It is a shame-free space. That is my thing. There's no stupid question. There's no doing it wrong. There's just trying it on, playing around with it, and learning. And that's how we grow. What else? I think that's about it. It's exactly 6:30. So proud of myself. I did skip out on a few things that I was going to talk about, but I think you guys got to experience a little bit. Thank you, Melissa, so much for being our model, letting them see what a somatic journey can look like. That's one of the doorways. There are several that we go through. We do a lot of role playing in the program, and I actually also encourage you to do a lot of role playing with your clients, and we practice that technique. So when you start to use it with your use the technique with your clients, you feel confident using it. I have time. I know some people, they say it's an hour, they block it off. I try to respect people's time. Oh, someone just joined us. They're clearly off on their timing as we're finishing up, but that's okay. I'm going to unshare, and I'm just going to leave this for any questions. I'm going to remove the spotlight on poor Melissa now. If anybody has any questions, I am here to answer them. If anything, as you were watching me take Melissa through it, came up for you, I am here. Yeah.
Do you know when your next session, like if you're doing any in the fall, any workshops in the fall?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet. I usually do 2 a year.
Okay.
I haven't figured out when the next one. Like I mentioned, I also do run trainings for coaches, personal trainers, group fitness people. I've also recently created a program that, fingers crossed, I've been talking to Crunch. They're looking at picking up and putting in all the local gyms that actually combines nervous system strengthening with conditioning. So weight training with conditioning, which hopefully my goal is that would be in every gym so we can get more people getting more nervous system tools without even realizing it. So I have a bunch of those two that I'm bouncing around leading. So I don't have any dates yet, but likely yes. Likely yes, it would be sometime probably September, October. So my gift for everyone who stayed, because I told you got a gift if you stayed. The training is, I didn't even tell you how much it is. It's 3 months. It's $4,000. However, you stayed to the end. I have $1,000 credit for you. Okay. So anyone who stayed till the end, instead of 4,000, it would be 3,000 for the 3 months. If you're interested in joining the cohort, all you need to do is go to my website, hit the apply button, fill it out, and then we would schedule a call to just make sure it is a good fit. I do keep the containers very small because I want everyone to get a lot of attention. I want everyone to feel like they can ask as many questions as they need. And there's a lot of healing that often happens in these containers for people too, their own personal healing as we go first. So every single person, I just like to make sure, like I said, that they blend with the people that have already signed up. Any other questions?
Thanks so much. This was super informative and definitely more to incorporate in practice.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, I hope every single person will leave and at least take one thing with them.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Everyone, I really do appreciate it. I really do think healing, it's not that we can't do amazing healing individually, but we do amazing healing in groups too, with each other. Definitely encourage. Yes, there is a recording from Krish. Is it Krisha? There is a recording. Yeah, it just finished up, but I will be sending that out tomorrow morning. So if you missed it or you want to rewatch parts, if you want to slow down parts and watch the journey again, that was a super fast journey. Usually it takes me way longer to take a client through that experience, but I wanted to give you guys a little taste.
And Melissa, thank you.
Yes, thank you very, very much. We always need a brave volunteer. All right. Well, I will let you guys go. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, if you're interested in diving in deeper, please don't hesitate. Just reach out. I always get back to people very quickly, always within 24 hours. All right. Have a wonderful night, guys. Don't forget to do your nervous system hygiene every morning. All right. I'll hopefully see you all soon. Have a great night.